Congressman Frost, NBC has a story about the El Salvadorian President Bukele saying that deportees will be detained at least a year. Let me read this one line. The men are expected to be held in El Salvador for at least a year. The president of El Salvador has said that the one-year sentence is, quote, renewable. Your reaction to that?
Right now, what is going on in this country where the President of the United States is shipping off people to other countries and gulags in other countries without zero due process is illegal and it is unconstitutional. And we talk a lot about American exceptionalism, and part of the thing that makes our country exceptional is the fact that we have due process for all people on this land and in this country. And the president's completely disregarding that. And not just that, he's paying the president of El Salvador and paying these foreign governments to hold people. And, you know, I recently went to El Salvador with a few of my colleagues, specifically to highlight the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, which we have to continue to talk about. I mean, Donald Trump wants us to forget about him. Donald Trump wants us to forget about a lot of the people that have been sent to El Salvador, but we have to talk about it because it's not even just about him specifically, but it's about a broader issue. It's about our constituents. It's about every American. And it's about the fact that the president has talked about multiple times deporting U.S. citizens. And we've seen cases of this happening across the country. And so, I mean, it's despicable and it's illegal. The court is still running its course. But look, when these guys say they want to run the country like a company, part of that thought is the way that companies approach a lot of labor organizing, and the fact that a lot of companies will do things that they know is illegal in terms of union busting and firing people that are organizing, but they know that the courts take a long time to move through these things, and they're okay with waiting it out versus a employee getting paid, you know, $12 an hour waiting it out. And it's the same thing that they're doing here with immigration. They know what they're doing is illegal, but they're fine with waiting out the courts while somebody sits in a jail cell right now as we speak because their rights were violated.
Senator Murphy, really quickly in the 30 seconds that we have left, a Pope retweet. Well, at the time, he was regular. But you tweeted in 2017, quote, "To my colleagues, your cowardice to act cannot be whitewashed by thoughts and prayers. None of this ends unless we do something to stop it." Pope Leo retweeted this post the day after the Las Vegas mass shooting in October 2017. What does that and some of the other kind of retweets and messages he's put over the years tell you about how this Pope is going to operate? And what's it feel like to be retweeted by the Pope?
Yeah, that's never happened to me before. So first, but it's like, why is it shocking to people that a religious leader would care about people in their community dying at the hands of gun violence that is totally preventable? The Pope, then the Cardinal, looks around the world and he says it only happens here, so it must not be bad luck, it must not be fate, it must be a decision that this community is making to allow the people of Chicago to be gunned down and hunted on the streets because there are too many illegal guns. So, yeah, I'm glad that there is a conversation about gun violence that intersects faith and morality with the decision we have made to leave so many of our own citizens defenseless.